It's with great excitement now that I'm going to introduce PEP TORRES, who is our inaugural first speaker to kick off AI Showbiz Summit 4.0 on May the 4th Be With You Day. Take it away, PEP.
Thank you so much. What a responsibility to be the first one. So if it's a disaster, I mean, people will do it better after me. And because it's a responsibility, I thought, what if we did someone more than just we on a webcam? So it was such a responsibility, I thought, okay, let's do it properly. Let's have a TV set, let's have a studio. I'm an inventor, and when everything started, you know, this virus thing some weeks ago, and I was confined at home, I'm a speaker too, I thought, you know, everything has to change. All this narrative, the way we communicate, the way we talk to customers, the way we talk to clients, to coworkers has to be different. And I thought, we should design something more than an experience instead of being in front of a webcam. So I came up with this idea of building a TV set and making talks as a TV show, something like that. So as it's a TV show, or it's going to pretend to be a TV show, let's start with a proper beginning. Let's go with the beginning for a TV show. Well, that was more or less the idea, to start like a TV show. I'm an inventor, and it's almost 25 years ago I started as an inventor and a creative. And I think as a child, the way I think is like I'm a big child. I like doing, you know, this kind of unusual things. And some years ago, I founded a museum of ideas and inventions, because I thought that I needed a place where I could tell people how to think, how to imagine, and encourage people to have their ideas. So I would like to go back to 2011 and be just inside my museum of ideas and inventions. So this was the MIBA, the Museum of Ideas and Inventions of Barcelona. I founded it in 2011. And as I said, it wasn't only a museum, it was a place where I wanted to encourage people to go inside, to go for a walk, to look at those inventions, those beautiful ideas. And when they came out, they could say, wow, I have an idea, I want to do it, I want to pursue that idea, I want to make it come true. And that was the whole goal of this place. For almost 5 years, about 50,000 people came to the museum. No, not 50, no, that was a year. 300,000 people for all these 5 years came to the museum, and actually they were encouraged to take their ideas one step further. Let's go inside the museum, because it was a place full of metaphors. It wasn't only just a regular museum with ideas, but they had lots of little things around that make you think. And it's the way I think that we have now to rethink ourselves, to invent for the future. We have to think ways in an unusual way. So we had these two floors, you know, the entrance, and then you could go down to the basement. And instead of going by the stairs, you could go with this slide that goes from one floor to another. And it was like a black hole, because actually for me, inventing, innovating, is like throwing yourself into a black hole. You don't know what's going to happen, you just go inside. And this slide was very fast, actually. So actually, sorry, I think we have some problem with my connection. Okay, that's it again. Sorry, I lost my connection. So actually, this was a very fast slide. So when you jump inside and you were in the middle, it was so fast, you said, oh, no, I shouldn't have done it. And that's actually what happens when you start a project, when you invent. It's like you think, I shouldn't have done it, but it's too late. You're already there. So you just go, and that's it. And at the end, you say, wow, it was fun. I will do it again. So that's the way I think of innovation. It's a black hole. It's like you're scared of doing it, but at the end, you do it once and again. So in the museum, we had the project with children. That we told children to draw an idea. They had only to draw one idea. And every month, we would choose one idea, the best of them. And actually, we saw every month about 500 ideas from all the children that came to the museum. And some of them were so good, so really good, that we thought we would take them to a professional invention show, like the British Invention Show, and that we would compete against adults. We didn't want a children category. We wanted to compete against the adults. So let's go to the British Invention Show. You can see here all these the children here, just sitting here, and all the people you can see around are all these, researchers, universities, entrepreneurs, big companies, and we were competing against them. And know what? When they said the winner was a 7-year-old. Because actually, if you take out who has done an idea, who has thought of an idea is great. And actually, it can be a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old, because ideas are great in themselves. And the way that children think about ideas, the way they approach problems, is very different for adults. And that's fantastic, the way they think of problems. So let's go back to the studio. So when all these virus problems started, I thought what I had done in the Museum of Inventions, and I thought, what if we had children think about how to fight against COVID-19? What if we had the way they approach problems, the way they think how to fight it? What if we created a platform where children from 6 to 12 years could put all their ideas, and on the other side, we could have researchers, companies, entrepreneurs, just take a look at their ideas and probably find some inspiration, find something they hadn't thought of. Because that's what children do. They think absolutely differently. They approach problems in a different way. And this platform we created, it's called childrenforcovid19.com. It just makes adults with skills and with knowledge get inspired by those ideas and probably find the aha moment. So that's the goal behind this project. And I think it's the way that nowadays we have to confront the future. I would say even the present, not the future. But we have to think in unusual ways. We have to think at everything from zero, from scratch. Everything that happened before, just take it away. And you have to think like a child, from scratch, in an unusual way, and it's the way we can be disruptive and really make new things. It's the way I'm doing this. Instead of just having a webcam, I thought, what if we had, a TV show, and we could do in Zoom or in Teams or in whatever platform, we could communicate in real time, but in a different way. The narrative is completely different. So that's what we did with COVID-19. That's the platform we have, because we think really that the way children think can just make the difference. And as I'm a child myself, I'm a grown-up child, but I'm a child. I also had a project that had to stop when we started this, when all this confined thing started. I had this idea of, what if we had furniture for children without monsters? What if we could have some furniture with a certificate that there are no monsters under the bed? So we had this bed, this one, sorry, I'm in the other hand, I get confused, so that's the bed. And this is a bed with a periscope. So actually, if there's a children saying, oh, there's a monster under my bed, you can let's see a closer look for that, thank you. So you can see there's a mirror in 45 degrees here, and under the bed, there's another mirror in 45 degrees. So actually, with these two mirrors, like a periscope, you can see there's no monsters under the bed. So when children say, there's a monster, oh, just take a look, come on, and just go to sleep. And we had a company, Basper, that's the name, building this bed. And we had also a certificate. So at the end of all the process, the manufacturing process, there was a guy with a stamp that he said, there has not been any monster during the manufacturing of the bed. So he could certify that inside the box, there was no monster. And that's a thing we thought before, and actually it had to stop. Let's go back to the studio. Sorry, I'm just giving instructions to my wife. She's here producing the program for us. Thank you. Okay, back here. So that's the way I think, and many of us inventors think. We're like grown-up childs. We think in an absolutely different way. We're children. And also, there's another thing that I think it makes the difference. And it's thinking the opposite, thinking from the end to the beginning. So, for example, when I thought I wanted to give a talk and I wanted to give a real talk, like a storytelling and be immersive, I thought that I had to be inside instead of having, a background, a green screen. So I wanted to be really inside the thing. And also, thinking like this, it's like thinking the opposite way. Last year, they hired me to be the artistic director for the opening ceremony of the Johan Cruyff Stadium. Football Club Barcelona hired me to do that. And when you open a stadium or something like that, you have this ball and you have to kick it, and that's the official moment when everything is launched and open and so on. So I started from the end. I said, okay, we have the ball, but the way the ball has to come into the stadium cannot just be someone bringing it. It has to be some magic thing. So I did the other way around. I just came from the ball back until the beginning. And making the story short, the ball came from the sky until the floor. It was Johan Cruyff Stadium. Johan is no longer with us, and his son Jordi had to, kick the ball. So I said, what if we had this ball coming from the sky and just going to the field? And here in Catalonia, I'm Catalan, we have these human castles, that we build them from the floor up from the ground until the sky. You have these human castles, and I think the opposite. I thought, let's do it the other way around. Let's have a human castle going from the sky down to the earth. And this last person, this last child that goes up, let's go down, and put a ball in the field. So let's see what was that actually. You can see that's a 35-meter high castle the other way around. It starts up and it goes down. And this ball came from the sky until the center, not the center, no, until the field. Then the ball had to be brought to the center, but that's another story. So let's see a closer shot of that. So that's the ball that was from 1975. It was from the Museum of Football Club Barcelona. Johan Cruyff had to play with that. So everything was so metaphoric. But the important thing about that is beginning from the end. It's just starting from the other way and going backwards. And that's the way, I think, that's the way some inventors think. And also being like a child. Let's go back for. So I think that actually we're living right now what it's weeks for us, confined at home. I mean, in Barcelona, and we're confined at home. Actually, although we can just go out, but mainly we're confined. So inside our homes, inside where we live, weeks are happening, days, but outside, years are passing. It's like a time machine. I think that COVID is like a time machine. And when we go out back again, everything will be so fast that actually it's like a time machine. It's like the future. So weeks now, it's years. And what is happening right now for us when we go out back again is like we will live in the future. Well, let's see how's the underground today. Not very busy. So I wanted to finish with this image inside an old TV. What we consider right now our present, let's say, it's already our past. I think we are already living in the past, and the present is what we are about to live right now. I think the word future has to disappear. There's no longer future, it's already a present. And we have to finish with what we did before and start from scratch. Everything has to be absolutely different. And we have to think like children. Let's go back to the studio, please. So I think I was very quick today talking, but more or less that's what I wanted to tell you. Because the way I think is that, things are so different right now. The world we lived in has changed so much. The way we communicate, the way we live, we relate to each other is not, it will be. It's actually so different that we have to reset ourselves. And I think that the way of thinking of a child, is the way we can approach what we have to do. And that's it. I hope you liked this short talk, this opening. I enjoyed, sorry, I have some people here. It's a busy studio today. We have the circus here also. So if there are any questions, whatever you want to ask me, I'm more than happy to be here, because all this is happening in real time, because that's actually the funny thing. It's producing something that seems to be recorded, but it's actually in real time. So
excellent.
Wow. Is there anyone there?
Yes, of course. Can you hear me okay, Pep?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can
Yes.
hear you.
Wow, that just blew my mind. I love seeing you immerse. So the first question we have, people want to know, like, how are you doing that? Because it's so super cool. How do you immerse
I'm going to
yourself
get my
in?
iPad because
Yeah.
actually I can see you all here the way I can make it.
Yes.
I'm not going to say how I can do that. Come on, you have to hire me. I have an agency.
Can you tell, can you say anything, can you describe what has happened? I mean, without giving away your secrets here. People are curious, like explain what you have done here, because we've not seen this before, a presentation like this. And by the way, now that we've seen it, we don't want to ever go back.
That's it. You know, that's what I was talking about. Let's go to the old TV. Let's go from some different stages. Old TV, yeah. Because you know the thing when you have something live, and I'm talking interacting in real time, and well, I'm here. So actually, all these things that you usually see that are recorded, when it happens in real time, it's like wow.
2 minutes.
Especially when it happens in Zoom or Teams or sorry.
No, sorry, Emily. He's an hour. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, okay.
Great.
So when you see this, that's the magic, and I think that you know the way we relate all the narrative, the storytelling, you know, companies doing an event, companies just relating to coworkers or breakfast, all the things that were physical. It's no longer going to be that, and we need to relate in another way. So that's why we're doing this kind of you know production for all. That's so amazing, and I think that when you go to a physical place, you go to whatever, you will miss the digital layer. So I think all this is going to be a must from now on. Let's go to Precipicio. I'm going just to change for some places I have here for our amusement. Wait, that's a good one. Whoops, sorry. That's dangerous. I wanted to be.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I'm a little boy. I guess it's like, oh, it's so fun doing this.
Excellent.
If you want to do any philosophical question, sorry, that's here. I can answer that.
That's wonderful. We've got more questions coming in. People want to know a little bit more about your background and how you came to do what you do, and how you ended up in Barcelona.
Well, actually, I didn't end up. I was born in Barcelona. I'm Catalan, so I was born in Barcelona. I've been working for, well, until I was confined here, 3 years, going back and forth to London. I have a client. I'm a creative marketing innovator for a consultancy company in London. And my background is creative, I would say, an inventor. I've been inventing my whole life. I have lots of inventions. Another day, I would show you all the inventions I have. I have lots of them. Actually, back in 2009, I was awarded by Time magazine, one of the best inventors in the world, for an invention I made. So that's wow, you can tell that at dinners. Hey, I was a Time magazine guy, you know, super important. I mean, I seem normal, but I'm very famous.
Yes. And we couldn't have a better person to kick this all off. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs out there who want to get into this field or move up? You know, what has been your driving philosophy that has grounded you and led to your success?
Actually, I never surrender. That's my motto. I never surrender, never. I mean, hard times are I mean, life is hard. Life is tough, and you never have to surrender. And actually, you don't have to listen to people. I mean, yes, it's okay to listen to them, but that's it. But you have to listen to yourself, because the only driver in your life is yourself. It's just growing, just focusing on what you do, trying to be better every day, and just go till the end. Forget about people, what they say. They have their own lives, their own stories, their own whatever. Just be yourself, and actually never surrender. Never, ever. I mean, I would just throw the towel every day, but I don't.
People want to know, how are you coping there in Spain with our pandemic? It seems like it's only accelerated your inventions. You seem to be coping very well. Do you have any words of wisdom on that, or what have you been up to?
So actually, when you're confined, have to be at home, there are many things you can do or can do. Actually, you can just read or play music or cry or I don't know, do nothing. Actually, all these things just make me think what I can do. How can I be part of the solution, not of the problem? How I can be, back again, but with chances of being successful. Because actually, I was going to London every week, and that was over. I had many projects, and they were over. I had this monster-free furniture. I had exhibitions. I had talks that they're not anymore because they're all finished. So I had to think, how can I be part of the solution? It was like thinking how to be digital, how to be, in the future, and that was it. I mean, I'm always just thinking, when all this finishes and I go back again, I open my door, I go back, to work. What's going to be of me? What I'm going to be next year, in 2 years' time? So that's what I was thinking all the time. There's a great quote by, I think it's Jeff Bezos. They ask him, do you know what's going to happen in 10 years? Do you know any idea how people are going? What's innovation in 10 years? And he said, oh, that's not the right question. The right question is what's not going to change in 10 years. People will need it now. People will want it, cheap. So just concentrate on what's not going to change in 10 years. And that's the way you can do a living. I think it's a great idea.
That's great. We have a follow-up question on what you just said. So what do you predict isn't going to change in the next 10 years?
What's not going to change? We will, I don't know, I think we'll want to be happy. We'll want to relate to each other. We want to communicate with each other. I don't think, we are isolated right now, sort of isolated, but we need to relate to each other. We need to communicate. We need to experience. And I think this is something that we will need to find the channels so we can keep on doing that in a different way. But everything that means getting in touch with each other and experiencing things the most powerful that we can, that's going to be a driver, of course. And this is a way of experiencing things. I mean, from now on, if you go to an event and there's a speaker on stage and the guy is just with a keynote at the end, click, 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 and that's it. And you'll miss a digital layer, you'll miss the magic. So probably what you have to do is making the experience much more powerful by adding layers of digital to all those things.
So how would we go about, I guess for now, the only way we could create this is to get in touch with you. I guess that you've invented something. Yeah.
I mean, I have expensive tastes.
Yeah, yes. No, that's great. Is there a full name that you've given this product that you're using today? Or if someone wants to work?
Actually, this is not new. This is a way, of streaming, and it's a mix of many things. But the concept that's behind, I think the beautiful idea is you never expected a TV show on Zoom or in WhatsApp. Just imagine I call you by WhatsApp and it's a TV show. I mean, it's like, wow. So when you have these unexpected approaches, that's the way your head explodes. I mean, that's the thing. And I don't know how to call this. I mean, it doesn't have a name. I would give my URL. That's the name, peptorres.es. Just go there and I give you a name.
That's fantastic. That's great. Super. Well, I know we've just recently met. How do you think people will right now we can't go to live conferences in person. How do you think people will collaborate in the future? Because this conference is all about collaboration. What methods do you think they'll be using as a great inventor?
Well, actually, everything will be digital, the way we collaborate. I think we have actually, we had the physical life and the digital life, and everything was sort of 50-50 or 60-40. But from now on, I mean, digital layer will be the way we communicate, we collaborate, and everything will be done like that. And especially, I think one of the ways we have to collaborate in the future is to be absolutely quick and practical, because one of the things that make the future, takes so long. It took so long to get into the future. It is because brands, companies, and projects, we get stuck in emails of 40 people in a loop, and everyone has to take a decision. It's so long and so boring. So one of the things, I think, it's small teams, very fast, very smart, very brave. That's another thing, and that's the way things will go on. It will make the future just move on, because all these kind of things in the past that were so, all these mails and meetings and so on, that's an idea killer.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, very, very well put, and great point that you're making. I want to shift over to the questions that have come in about your invention, to not be scared by looking underneath the bed. How did you come up with that idea? What inspired you, and where do you see this invention going?
This idea was it's making the story short. When I had the museum, I had people coming to the museum every week on Friday. I call it Friday. So I gave advice for free. I was every Friday from 9 in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Just, people came to me and they just asked me for advice. And almost 300 people came during the museum time, and everyone was happy. And there was a woman that came and said she wanted something for children, and she has that idea of furniture, there's a bed, and then you have this this table, so you can do the homework and everything is. And I said to her, wow, what if you did furniture without monsters for children? And she said, no. I said, oh, really? That's a good idea. You should do that. She said, no. And I told her, okay, if you don't want the idea, can I keep it for me? Of course, it's mine, but it was for you. If you're not going to use it, can I use it? Yeah, of course. I don't think it's a good idea. And that happened, I think, 7 or 8 years ago or more. So I kept it in the drawer, and I didn't do anything with that idea. It was there. And one day, Sandra is a girl that worked with me, say, hey, you have to do that idea. That's a great idea. You should do it. So I started working on that back again, and at the end I said, okay, let's do it. But it was an idea I gave for free to someone, and she didn't want it. She said, I don't like the idea. So, and it's almost years going back and forth.
Wow. I think it's such a great invention. Can you tell us about, someone wants to know, can you tell us about another invention that you didn't mention yet today that you're working on now?
No, I cannot tell inventions I'm working at because, I have to patent them. But I'll tell you some old inventions.
Please.
One of them was a vending machine where everything was for free. You could eat chocolate, everything on the machine was for free, but you had to pedal the calories of that product. So actually, I want that piece of chocolate. Okay, that's 20 kilometers. Then you just pedal with the bicycle and then you get it for free, automatically. And that was a way of encouraging children, to do sport. It's okay, you can eat whatever, although it's not healthy, but you have to do some sport for it. And that's what was the invention that Time Magazine awarded me one of the best inventions back in 2009. And, a vending machine with a bicycle attached. But it's a way of encouraging children to get healthy. That was a great invention.
Yeah, and
I had another one, but I made some money with it. I had a tea towel with a magnet, so when you have to, you throw it to the fridge and it stays there. So it's always handy. And it sold thousands of that. That was a great invention some time ago.
That's wonderful. We have a question about the inventor's mindset. Do you think it's something that you're just born with, or can you do something? Can you study something or mentor with someone to develop the invention mindset that you so clearly have?
I would say that we are all inventors. We're all creative. We all have ideas, all of us. I have a lot of ideas. Probably someone has less, another one has more. But the difference between me as an inventor, another person, is only on Monday morning. Because we all have ideas on Sunday. It's like, I have an idea, that would be great, blah, blah, blah. And then when Monday comes, you just go to work and you just forget about the idea. I don't. I do my ideas. So that's the main difference. Monday mornings, if you have an idea, you have to go for it. And that's when you become an inventor or whatever you want to call it, an entrepreneur. So the difference is just to be brave, to have the attitude. That's it. We all have creativity, all of us.
That's wonderful. And that's encouraging for some of us that haven't invented yet. This is a follow-up question to what you were just talking about. So we all have these ideas, but what does it take to take action? Because I have found in my own practice and coaching people that people do have great ideas, but they don't implement them. Why do you? I mean, can you say more about taking action? Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
I just can stop it. It's like when I have an idea. I mean, you have to do it. It's like, the
yeah,
monster-free bet. Come on, you have to do it.
yeah.
What would happen if I saw that idea in the world and not done by me? I would die. It's like, oh God, that was my idea. So when I have a good idea, I think it deserves doing it. I just go for it, and that's it. And one thing, I work for many companies as a consultant and so on. And they call me, I go to companies and I just, do these brainstormings and blah, 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 and so on. And the difference between companies that do ideas or not, it's only because there's a person there that's brave enough to do it. It's about being brave. It's like, okay, we'll try it. Let's see what happens. Because normally 90% of companies say, whoa, no, because they're afraid someone could point with a finger and say, oh, that was a bad idea. So the difference is to be brave. And I think that's all in life. If you're brave, things happen. If you're not, you're dead.
Yes, yes. Wonderful. Okay, just a few more questions here. You're doing great answering all these questions. Yes, yes, yes. And I do want to take a moment and thank you for doing this keynote today. It's such a beautiful way to open up with a great Time Magazine inventor. And certainly this conference is all about emerging technology. For sure. And we're going to I'll just take a moment. I just want to add that we have, for those that are just joining us, thank you for joining us. We have networking events all week. So I'll be mentioning those during the break coming up here to remind everyone. And our schedule is up under Summit info on aishow.biz and so forth. Yes. Is there anything, I know we've asked you a lot of questions that you had hoped to talk about but didn't yet today that you want to bring up?
I don't know. I think everything is already said. I talked a lot. I didn't think I was going to talk so much, but you're doing the right questions. So great job.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm getting help from this wonderful audience, and we are broadcasting live on Facebook as well, not just here in the Zoom universe. Well, I've got another question about the monster under the bed.
Okay.
They want to know if you're planning to do something more with that beyond what you said, because people think it's just so super cool, and we all wish we
let's
had
have
it.
the image again. Yep. Well, actually, the idea is having a complete line of furniture-free, beds or whatever. So I just imagine if we have a bed, that would be a bed with a periscope. But if we have some blankets, some bed sheets, we could have this. So you just put them here and you have some place to see if there's a monster. We could have a closet. We could have a carpet. How would that be? So that's what we're working in, different ways of, getting monsters out. I think it's a beautiful idea. I mean, I want to get out of my home again. I want to not be confined and just go back and produce that, because it's already done. We have just to present it, and that's it. We have the first unit.
That's so fantastic. Great. I know that I have a question that I always ask people. Do you have any great mentors that inspired you? I don't mean it in the formal sense that you had a mentoring program, but there are people that you wanted to emulate or really inspired you in your life.
Actually, I'm not, sort of reflected in famous people. I can just mention, the typical, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs. They're great people, but actually I get inspired by people I know, by friends that are brave enough to do whatever they have to do. Perhaps it's just, going on a business or say, I love you to the one they like. I don't know, people that are brave to do what they think they have to do. Those ones are the one that inspire me the most. So not famous people, but just regular, normal people that just take one step ahead.
I love that answer more than you'll ever know. And it begs the question, the follow-up to that is, why are we not brave enough? What is it that we're fearing? And what is it that you don't have that fear? And maybe that's what separates some of us from really making it in life, having that courage. Where do you get your courage?
I don't know. I don't think it's courage. I mean, it's like
Okay.
in Spanish, I don't know the word in English, inconsciente. It's someone that, you just go ahead and pum. It's, oh, God. Oh, you didn't see the wall. Yeah, well, yes, but they didn't know it was going to hurt so much. So it's not brave because, a brave person knows what's going to happen and he goes ahead or she goes ahead. But I don't know what's going to happen. I just go ahead and see what will happen at the end. And then I just go to a wall. And I would say that we humans are covered. Basically, we are all covered. And it's very difficult for us to be brave because actually, you want to be alive, you want to be comfortable, you want to be here, eat food, and you don't want to do anything. So we are covered. So, I mean, I think it's not that I'm brave, but I don't want being comfortable. I want to go one step further. I want to go ahead. I want to change things. And that's my motto in life.